What is going on, everybody? Coming to you live from Los Angeles. I hope you're all doing great out there. And today, June 1st, 2021, approximately 3:30 p.m. Pacific time, I bring you guys a video talking about the upcoming, well, actually, the newly announced Jake Paul and Tyrone Woodley fight. And yet we have the other Paul brother going up against what's his face, Floyd Mayweather this week in 6 days, or what is it? What is it? It's on Saturday, I believe. Or yeah, in a few days, 4 days, something like that. So one of the Paul brothers is already having a match this upcoming weekend, against Floyd Mayweather, and that'll be Logan Paul. And on the other hand, we just got news, and this is, I know, bigger for the MMA community too, that hey, it's gonna be Jake Paul and Tyrone Woodley going up against each other in a date I don't believe is announced yet. So, or it could be. I really don't know. I didn't really look it up, but if you guys want to let me know, then yeah, that would be pretty cool. But yeah. So Floyd Mayweather, Logan Paul is happening this weekend. I mean, I'm just gonna come out and say I don't see Logan Paul winning, no matter what the circumstances are. I don't even know what the betting odds are, but let me just go ahead and check what the betting odds are for Logan Paul and Floyd Mayweather, because that's apparently a thing right now. Because there's gonna be a lot of people tuning in to watch it. I mean, they're all gonna still make money. You know what I mean? It's not like they're not gonna not make anything. So they'll actually make pretty decent money actually. So let's go ahead and see what it is. Okay, so Logan Paul is plus 650 and Floyd Mayweather is minus 1100. So you gotta put up $1,100. You gotta put up $1,100 just to win $100. So let that process, guys. And if you want to win, and if you put up $100, you'll win $650. So let that process, guys. But yeah, those odds are absolutely crazy. And yeah, I mean, I don't think Logan stands any chance. But hey, you know what? I think it's actually gonna be much more interesting than the Ben Askren and Jake Paul match, because that thing ended really quick. I mean, geez, I mean, I have always made videos that hey, Ben Askren is a athlete, he's a competitor. He's gonna bring it forward, and Jake Paul is underestimating him. But man, I've always said it, that in order for him to be successful, he's gonna have to have a chin to be able to eat some punches, because that's just part of the game. It's best to obviously not get hit and dodge them, and avoid them at the best of your abilities always. But it does happen when you get hit, and when you get hit, you want to at least not go out like that. But the way Jake Paul, just went down and he turned off for like a quick second, I was like, man, okay, you absolutely have to have a chin in boxing, because if you don't and that happens, well, you're not winning now, are you? So again, I think Tyrone Woodley against Jake Paul, now that we're on to that, is actually going to be far more interesting than the Ben Askren and Jake Paul match, because now, we have Tyrone Woodley being uh, Ben Askren's friend, and obviously he's probably either seeking revenge, or he's getting a good payday. And actually, I was watching one of Michael Bisping's interviews earlier today, and he came out and said that they came out and offered him $500,000. Same thing they paid to Ben Askren, I believe, to go up against Jake Paul, and I believe Michael said no. So I actually think Michael's actually making really good money with the UFC, being a commentator, and also he has a YouTube channel and makes other money from his sponsors. So I don't even think Michael necessarily needed that, even though it would have been nice. But then there's a lot of politics there, considering then he would have been backstabbing the UFC, because the UFC's been his bread and butter, and they've taken care of him, and Michael's taken care of the UFC, obviously, and the spectacular matches that we've seen. But yeah, I mean, I thought, I guess, Tyrone could be doing it for the money. And hey, you know what? Michael said another thing. And he said that, hey, you know what? These guys, they can actually, uh, they actually may have even offered him $1 million. So maybe even more, to come out and go against Jake Paul. And I guess Jake Paul is, probably not wanting to fight Tyrone, but I guess, and that's obviously considering they talked to Michael Bisping as well, and offered him, or maybe that could have been way before. So I actually don't know too much about that, and I don't really want to talk too much about that. But the point of it is that yeah, it looks like it looks like a few people have been offered some money to fight. So, for Tyrone, they could have maybe offered a little more. Maybe, nobody really knows. Nobody knows, at least as of right now. I mean, this thing was announced, if I'm not mistaken, in the last 48 hours. Not exactly sure, but it's trending right now all over the internet. So, I mean, it's just been very recent. That the Jake Paul and Tyrone Woodley match is official, because again, Tyrone Woodley is Ben Askren's friend, and the way Jake Paul knocked Tyrone Woodley's friend out like that is like, whoa, um, and everyone started randomly being a Tyrone Woodley fan, even me for some reason. And thing, yeah, so it turned out that yeah, Tyrone Woodley is you know standing by and looking at Jake Paul like, hey, that was my friend you just knocked out. And I don't know. I guess there was some other um, boxer in the back where I guess he was talking smack to Tyrone Woodley about, oh, you never had none of these gloves, or something along those lines. But the point of it is that the Jake Paul team was talking crap to the Ben Askren team, and obviously the way Ben Askren got knocked out, now there's Tyrone Woodley to go against Jake Paul, and it looks like they made it official. And I guess they couldn't have timed it any better, because the Floyd Mayweather and what do you call it? The Floyd Mayweather and Logan Paul boxing event is actually this weekend, this upcoming weekend, and I'll be making another separate video on that entirely. But now that that's trending more, considering the boxing date is getting closer, which is going to be this weekend, I guess it was a good move by Jake Paul and I guess the whole Triller team to come out and say, hey, we're announcing the Tyrone Woodley and Jake Paul boxing event, and it's now official. So that's really smart of them, I guess, because now, yeah, it's obviously trending. And yeah, I mean, I guess Tyrone Woodley is here to probably do both. I guess if he's able to knock out Jake Paul or beat him in a spectacular fashion, then hey, he's gonna be known as the guy that got revenge for his brother Ben Askren, and you know, and went ahead and beat up Jake Paul. But I would not even be surprised if Jake Paul beats Tyrone Woodley, because let's not forget. I mean, Jake Paul, seriously has some hands. I mean, if you get hit by those, I mean, we obviously saw how Ben Askren went down to the ground, and obviously, that everybody was stunned. I mean, I thought it would at least go a couple rounds, but again, saying it right now, Jake Paul and Tyrone Woodley, I think, already sounds much more interesting than the Ben Askren and Jake Paul match that was scheduled, because I mean, Ben Askren wasn't really a striker, and we know that Tyrone Woodley definitely has that knockout power in his hands. He touches people when they go to sleep. Now, yeah, this is boxing, but hey, doesn't mean he doesn't have that power. One thing Tyrone Woodley is definitely gonna have to get straightened out, and I don't think he's even had you know a bad amount of cardio. Is pretty much his endurance, which is pretty much his cardio. So if he's able to put on some serious endurance and cardio training, and be able to go all 12 rounds, or however many rounds it's going to be for the entire period of time at a good capacity, then hey, he's going to give Jake Paul a run for his money. But Tyrone is going to have to come out and be far more aggressive than he usually is in the MMA ring, because in the MMA ring we usually know how he's just waited kicked back and kind of did that whole burst punch and go forward and run towards his opponent and just throw like a barrage of punches. So I don't know if that's gonna be working in this boxing match against Jake Paul, but obviously we're gonna have to wait and see, just like Dana White always says. So yeah, Jake Paul, Tyrone Woodley, it's now official. I'm not gonna say who's gonna win so far. I'm gonna save that for another video. But again, it looks like there were several fighters that were offered a match against Jake Paul. Obviously, Jake Paul was trying to pick and choose because it looks like he did try to avoid Tyrone Woodley for some time. Now that we're seeing this match being scheduled. After a few months from the Ben Askren and the Jake Paul event, even though it wasn't actually that long. So maybe this thing could have been in the works for a while, and it just materialized, and they came out and announced it. Or maybe Jake Paul was trying to seek opponents he can easily beat on, and then maybe I guess they didn't really find other people that wanted to take up the fight or the match, the boxing match, and they just asked Tyrone Woodley. And now actually that I think about it, I feel like the Tyrone Woodley and Jake Paul match has probably been in the works for a while, right after that Ben Askren and Jake Paul event. So actually, yeah, now that I think about it, actually, I feel like they probably went to a couple, MMA fighters that had some big names like Michael Bisping, or maybe they, went to Michael Bisping before Ben Askren. Who really knows? We don't know that. But the point of it being is, Michael was offered a boxing match with Jake Paul, for 500 grand. And now it's Tyrone Woodley that's officially going up against Jake Paul. And I don't know what the number is. I don't know if that's out there yet. But Michael Bisping actually said that it can be $500,000, same thing, or it can be even more, up to $1 million. We don't know. So now that everybody sees Jake Paul, at least from what I'm seeing in the media, as like the antagonist, and Ben Askren was the good guy and the good guy lost. Now Tyron Woodley's looking like the good guy. I guess looking forward to beating up Jake Paul in a boxing match, or maybe even knocking him out. So we don't really know. We'll have to wait and see what happens. I don't know if the date of it is actually announced. I didn't really look into that, but I'll go ahead and update you guys whenever it's actually out there and official. And it could be out there right now. So if you guys want to just tell me, that would be pretty cool. And yeah, I mean the Logan Paul and Floyd Mayweather boxing matches this weekend, and that's gonna be a fun one too. The bars, the restaurants are gonna be packed. Floyd's hosting an event. Floyd's gonna be there. It's gonna be it's gonna be fun. Whether you're actually into the boxing match or not. The point of it is just the atmosphere. Knowing that there's a big event going on. You can just relax, take a chill pill from the world, and just back off, and just experience the getaway that this weekend is going to bring, with Floyd and Logan Paul going down in a boxing match. So I mean, Logan is going to be a lot heavier. So if Logan connects to Floyd, I think Floyd's going to be in a lot of trouble. But hey, I'm not even going to talk too much about that. I'm going to save that for another video. And I just almost spilled my coffee here. So yeah, guys, and then it looks like we have some cryptocurrency updates as well. I guess 2 days ago I made a video saying that we're not going to be seeing too much price action in regards to Bitcoin, and that it's not going to be going up too much, and it's not going to be going down too much, and that we're going to be staying around the $35,000 mark, at least for June. So yeah, I mean we haven't, and it's been that at least in the last 48 hours ever since I mentioned that. So I've been correct so far. And I'm gonna make a whole new video about some altcoins that I'm looking at, and that I think that will do well in the future, and I'll also make that in another separate video. So yeah, guys, lots of cool stuff going on. Summer's looking like it's coming out off to a good start. Logan Paul, um Floyd Mayweather this weekend, and then again, we just found out that Jake Paul and Tyrone Woodley is gonna be going down as well now that it's official. And honestly speaking, I'm looking more forward to the Tyrone Woodley and Jake Paul event compared to the Logan Paul and Floyd event. Only, I guess, because I just feel like I know who's gonna win that one. I mean, it's obvious, like, yeah, it's gonna be Floyd, you know. So, yeah, we'll see. You know, we'll see what happens this weekend. But stay tuned, guys. I'm gonna make a whole lot of videos. I intend on doing 5 videos a day. So stay tuned for that. I'm gonna be building the website, and it's coming forward. And it's gonna be updated soon as well. It's not actually released, so you guys are gonna have to stay tuned for that. But guys, up until later on, until I see you guys the next time, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you guys later, guys. Peace.